Okay, so let us try to understand what are the characteristics of the project, because normally if you want to define a project, right? So normally what you will be doing is you will try to define a particular project with its characteristics. So let us try to understand what are the characteristics of a project. So the first thing is a project is unique. That means even though you are working on a deployment project for two particular customers exactly same, but there is some kind of difference. The difference could be people, the difference could be customer, difference could be geography, difference could be time, it could be anything, right? So every project, though both are exactly same, right? So there you will definitely find some kind of uniqueness in the projects. So that is the reason why one of the important factor is unique. Every project is considered to be unique. And one project exactly same which is deployed for a particular customer could be a successful project, and another project which is exactly same deployed for another customer could be an unsuccessful project. So that can happen. And another thing is project is temporary. So what is meant by temporary? Temporary means it will be having a start date and it will be having an end date, right? So project, if there is no start date and end date, you don't call it as a project. Maybe you can call it with a different name, something like operational work or regular job or something. Yeah,
It
Mangesh.
can be service continuity. Yeah.
You're right.
It
You're
can be
right.
a service continuity if there is no start date and end date here.
You're right.
But that also come with the SLA and the OLA.
You're right.
SLA and OLA also have a start date and end date.
Contracts will be having it, but you will
Yeah.
not be having. They will say they'll will have this particular thing for 2 years, and after that we'll see the metrics and all, whether you are meeting SLA with regards to resolution time and all, and based on that it will continue. So it will be more or less like a redundant work, right? I mean, you're providing support and services to a organization, and that is little redundant work. But in project you are, obviously even services will also deliver something, but a project will be having some kind of specific start date and end date, and on that particular end date there will be certain kind of deliverables. And another thing is progressive elaboration. And what is meant by progressive elaboration is it's like steps. It doesn't, I'm not pointing to waterfall, but any project will progress step by step. That is what is meant by progressive elaboration. You can't have everything done at one particular stage or one particular step. It will it will get evolved over a period of time. So that is what is meant by progressive elaboration. And very important thing is a project is done in order to achieve some kind of objectives. Suppose you want to implement payroll, normally if it is being done manually, you want to implement payroll system in your organization. So the objective is like you want to automate payroll thing, right? So it is basically done in order to achieve some kind of objectives. And this is very important. Maybe if you want to make a note on practical purposes and all. So a product is considered to be uncertain and unpredictable, right? So what is meant by uncertain and unpredictable is like right? So you feel that everything is okay at this particular point of time, but going forward what will happen is when you are progressing in your project, what will happen is there could be a lot of things which you don't foresee at the initial stage. So a good project manager at this point of time, I mean in the current generation, is considered to be a project manager is considered to be a good project manager if he is able to maintain, or if he is able to manage all the unpredictables related to the project or uncertainties related to the project. So if I have to tell it in a shorter way, then I can say it as risk. A good project manager is a person who can manage risk well. Okay. And another thing is project is cross-functional. You don't have similar kind of people working in a project. Typically, you'll be having a business analyst, you will be having developers, you will be having testers, you'll be having some kind of documentation experts, right? And you'll be having product owners. So there will be different kinds of people working in order to achieve a particular objective. So that is the reason why a project is considered to be cross-functional. And another thing which you may have to take a note is change, right? So earlier days, maybe some 3 years back or 7 years back, we used to consider it as a requirement freeze, right? So people say that requirements need to be freezed in order to do planning, in order to do development, in order to do execution and all. Now, there are there are changes. I mean, customer will come up with set of requirements at one particular stage. Maybe when you have another meeting, they say that, you know, they want something else, right? And they want you to add some more enhancements. They want you to remove certain things, certain features, and they want you to change certain things. Maybe if someone is working on web portal designing and development, they will say, they will come up with different kinds of things. So a good project manager is a person who should be capable of managing changes in a proper way, right? So you can't say that you know, requirement is freezed and we don't want to, you know, uh, encourage any changes from your end on your, you know, customers end on all, which is not going to work, right? So these are some of the important characteristics of project, and right now these things are considered to be very important. So the you know, extremely good project manager is a person who can manage risks well and who can manage changes well.